Ladies and gentlemen, this is a speech about my garden. I want to tell you about the garden of the house that I bought about 8 years ago. It's not in central Leeds, it's just outside Leeds to the northwest in Guiseley. I moved in 2003 thinking this would be my house for the rest of my life, just me and my dog, a rather bitter old spinster. And I immediately made some changes to the front garden. The front garden is a rockery, it's south facing so it catches the sun, which makes it an ideal place to plant herbs. I love herbs. I planted all sorts of things. Lavender first and foremost, sage, thyme, oregano, hyssop, rue, all sorts of delicious herbs which you can use in cooking, that's their first advantage. And secondly, I'm rather interested in aromatherapy, and you can pick the herbs and use them for therapeutic purposes. But then, about 5 years ago, my partner moved in with me, and he implemented some rather more radical changes to the back garden. At the time we had a lawn, although the lawn had been severely damaged by our dog. So he decided to completely remove the lawn and create a vegetable garden instead. And he built some raised beds, he planted all manner of vegetables in there, chard, leeks, courgette, onions, radishes, tomatoes, and he also planted fruit bushes around the edges. So we had gooseberries, we had raspberries, blackberries, rhubarb in spring, and there are also a couple of apple trees in the garden. So it became a much more productive garden. He once said to me, "I only want plants in the garden that we can eat." It's very hard work, but there are advantages. For a start, we can have organic produce, freshly picked from our very own garden. Secondly, growing your own saves money, sometimes anyway. And thirdly, it's delicious. But then the children came along, so we had to give some thought to what else we could do in the garden, because unfortunately we no longer had the lawn, and apart from vegetables everywhere, all that remained was a concrete drive, and the concrete drive goes down rather steeply to the road, and I was worried that my son could run down into the street and get run over by a car. So my husband built a fence and a little gate to prevent my son from escaping, and incidentally also to prevent my dog from escaping. But recently we've been wondering what else we can do to make the garden more child-friendly, because I now have a second child. I have a daughter who is just starting to walk, and what with this concrete drive and 3 concrete steps down from the back door, it seems to me that she could very easily fall over and get a nasty bump to the head, and we would end up in A&E. It's exactly the sort of scenario I can picture with my daughter. So perhaps on this concrete drive we could put a special type of rubber matting, and I've been researching this on the internet. You can get hold of a type of interlocking tile. You can even get hold of edging strip to make it more attractive around the edges, and you can cut the tiles to size so we could fit them exactly to the concrete drive and to the 3 steps. And this way the children would be able to play more safely in the garden, and they could even learn to ride a little tricycle or something on this special type of rubber matting, which is the sort of surface that they use in playgrounds on top of the concrete. However, after giving so much thought to rubber matting and doing a lot of research on the internet, it seems that perhaps my plans will not come to fruition, because it looks as though we're about to move house. But at least we're moving to a bigger house with a bigger and better garden. Thank you.